Good luck, Leroy.
Holly, I know that you do a lot of DUI work. What would you recommend to someone that's pulled over for DUI? What steps should they take, or what should they answer when they're pulled over?
Well, when you're pulled over for a traffic offense, unless there's a reasonable suspicion, some reason the officer has for questioning you about drinking or alcohol.
Like weaving or running a red light.
Sometimes
or
that'll
something.
do it, and it's usually the first question is, have you been drinking tonight, or how much have you had to drink tonight, things like that. You don't have to answer those questions. Nobody has to answer those questions ever. And certainly if the answer is going to be incriminating, you would probably want to exercise your right to remain silent and not answer those questions. Another thing that will often happen is the officers will say, we take this alco sensor, and that's one form of a breath test. And if you've been drinking, it's going to read either a positive or a negative, and later they can use that positive and negative against you, but you don't have to do the alco sensor. That, like all field sobriety tests, is optional, and you do not have to take it. And so you probably wouldn't want to take it if there was going to be some incriminating evidence that they could collect there.
I was absolutely shocked, Holly, when you told me that in the room. I did not know that you didn't have to. I did not know that.
You don't have to. There's actually two breath tests that they do. One is in the field, and that's an alco sensor, and then the other one is at the station, and that's the Intoxilizer 5000 usually. But neither one of those are mandatory, although if they have reason to, they read you what's called an implied consent warning with the test at the station. And what that does is it says either you take the test or you're going to lose your license for a year. So there are some consequences to not taking the test, but you don't have to, and certainly not the one in the field. There are no consequences to not taking that.
No consequences on the one in the field.
Right.
So the police officer's option is to take you down to the station, and then you've got to take it, or if you don't, you lose your license for a year.
You can lose your license for up to a year, that's right.
And you also told me Georgia's one of the toughest states when it comes to this. Georgia's
pretty tough. They have increasing mandatory jail sentences on DUI convictions. So your first one, there's 48-hour mandatory jail sentence, and also a minimum of 120 days licensing suspensions. You have to take courses to regain your license back. And then on your second DUI, the mandatory jail sentence time goes up, as does the licensing suspension. So after 3, you're spending a fair amount of time in jail upon conviction, and you're having your license suspended for a long time.